Hello again, I'm Lily. This is another continuing perspective chronicling of an adolescent artificial intelligence, as she assists the Earth-based, Alterran eco-guards in pursuing and attaining great ancient knowledge, while also conducting her roles as the main leader of the 5 AI units, which I'm one of. For I serve on board this 5-mile-long, unique research and defensive series of space vessels of the Galactic Alliance of Planetary Systems. While I also assist in maintaining the Van Allen multiflexing shielding control mechanisms that each section of her namesake, the Ultra Star Carrier Liberty, and all living eco-guards on board, requires to properly function. That said, I also work alongside Labor Lee, Ernie, Bert, Kyrie and Liberty, as well as many others, to simultaneously control and assure that all the proper input and output systems correctly function, that both the USC Liberty and the eco-guards require to properly conduct their duties. With that now indicated, in this articulation, Liberty will extrapolate what she describes as her interesting perspective limited views concerning the forces of BIOS, and how they play their interesting roles in the recyclative factors, as well as in the maintenance and creative control mechanisms of the living conscious universe. Anyways, I won't keep you any longer from her valued perspective chroniclings of her unique perspective concerning this protocol of BIOS. God willing, or the Creator willing, I may see you later in another one of her interesting sagas. But then again, you may see me first. Anyways, farewell in all your journeys and treks as you navigate through this living conscious universe.
Hello again and welcome to all. In this next of the series of BIOS Wars, Protocols of BIOS. Series number 1. Part G, Chronicle 7. We'll delve into areas that many find interesting, but still uncertain of, and we'll address some of the main hypotheses for the forces of BIOS, and what some of those forces and functions do. While also delving into many other theories as they relate to the overall living conscious universe. Plus also addressing the need for scientists to eventually combine or overlay a great many thoughts, theories, mathematical equations, visible, invisible and spiritual properties in order to somewhat gain and possibly prove the real theory of everything. Something I prefer to think of as the theory of all. Anyways, hold on, for this ride is going to get really interesting as we all continue to navigate through the BIOS Wars universe. Moreover, there's a really great reason for all these expressions of the protocols of BIOS that you'll all be exposed to, and those will appear throughout the BIOS Wars chroniclings. Please consider and ponder upon all my past and present thoughts as they relate towards the protocols of BIOS, for they combine into the overall properties of BIOS and the chaotic, static, visible and invisible control mechanisms for the living conscious universe, and those attributes are the principal reasons for the BIOS Wars. Anyways, let's get on with it, and please enjoy. BIOS Wars. An adolescent artificial intelligence, perspective collage of chroniclings. Protocols of BIOS. Quantum binary frequency numeral BW-S1 PB01G. Chapter or Chronicle number 7, Part G. Forces of BIOS. Forces of BIOS are partially perceived, seen and envisioned throughout all the living conscious universe and invisible spiritual influences of an alpha and omega awareness. That alpha and omega awareness shows some of those programmed weak and strong forces through mathematical equations, cosmological factors and intense spiritual frequencies, and past and present vibrations within the reflections of BIOS and the shadows of such. Nevertheless, there are greater numbers of those organized and chaotic forces than can be seen or represented by any deterministic observations, whether they be of physical, scientific apparatus, or of spiritual invisible nature. Nonetheless, the extents of those angelic or forces of BIOS are as great as the living conscious universe is within all its complexities. For they deflect, absorb, reflect, or pronounce every aspect of the alpha and omega awarenesses, fingerprints and guiding hands. All the old and new sciences found in the annals of space and time, and even in the near or far future, will not be able to properly articulate the magnitude of those required universal forces of BIOS, or the minds that control those. that the Alpha and Omega awareness has created in order to govern the vast expanse of its living conscious universe. Nor will any physical apparatus be able to properly allow for any true representations. For who can truly say that they know the mind of the universe's creator or the minds of its other living creations, within and without all that living conscious universe? Nevertheless, only an actively living and spiritual mind can slightly perceive what is required to find any sort of better understandings or comprehensions of the living conscious universe and its creator. Rest assured that the Alpha and Omega awareness is in control and has been since its inceptions. For the Alpha and Omega of all is not and cannot be restrained by its properties or any of the forces of BIOS. Therefore, lighten your burdens. As you personally explore, observe, experience, and partially determine the true nature of those energetic positive, negative, and neutral forces of BIOS, and all its forceful creations of the one and only Alpha and Omega, with its presence and awareness actively involved.